Trust me, I leaked the Pentagon Papers. Trump is an enemy of the Constitution and must be defeated. For those who haven't read it, Ellsberg's autobiography Secrets, a memoir of Vietnam and the Pentagon Papers is an absolutely fascinating read. His experiences on the ground in Vietnam are amazing, and the whole thing is much more interesting than you'd expect if you just know him as the guy who leaked the Pentagon Papers. By the way, remember the Watergate burglaries? One of the break-ins was to a therapist/psychologist Ellsberg had been seeing. They were looking for dirt to use to discredit him. He was literally one of the people making top-secret plans for all-out nuclear war and for dealing with the aftermath. Had a bit of weight on his shoulders and they couldn't let him seek therapy in peace. Go Ellsberg! Georgia yesterday was absolutely unexpected, and such refreshingly good news for 2020. Georgia is answering the call to arms. Georgia is doing an amazingly great job. They seem to have heard the call. There is an article detailing the astoundingly high number of voters lining up to vote early, more than in 2016. Georgia has record turnout for early voting. https://www. reddit.com/r/news/comment/jamal8/georgia_voters_set_day_of_early/ ref = share and ref_source = link. I now see Donald J. Trump as a domestic enemy of the Constitution, in the sense of that oath. As president he has assaulted not only the First Amendment but also virtually every other aspect and institution of our country that preserves us as a republic. He's a fascist and if re-elected it could be the end of our democracy as we know it. Reveal, https://www. revealnews.org/episode/The Pentagon Papers Secrets Lies and Leaks/ did a really great interview with Daniel a few years ago. He talks about how he grew to hate the war, got access for the files, and about getting stoned with Howard Zinn during Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid the night the papers were released. I think the emphasis on Trump is misplaced. He's awful, yes, but the system of checks and balances failed because of the Republicans. They have to go, all of them. Speaking as non-American, not only would Trump losing better things domestically, student loans, climate change, relations to the EU. It would be a giant blow to far-right populist parties, and leaders, worldwide. 4 years have been an utter failure and COVID-19 was really the last straw. On the other hand, Trump winning again would make the US weaker, maybe lead to the dissolution of NATO. Many people in other countries won't change their habits due to climate change, the US being a big polluter, it will turn the clock back about social norms. But the worst thing is it will cause even more instability and right-wing extremists will feel emboldened. Also the US reputation, which declined like a lot since 2016, will never recover. Why should allies trust someone who votes for, incompetent, corrupt, idiot not one but 2 times? Please vote him out. Imo. This makes all Republicans enemies of the Constitution. They knew what he was. They nominated him. They continue to support him. They are just as guilty as he is. They should all be guilty of treason and defrauding the American people. Trump is an enemy of the Constitution. Honestly, the problem is that 40-ish% of Americans are completely okay with that. Hitler himself could run for the next Republican nomination and he'd get that 40% of the vote. Voting Biden, turning the House and Senate fully blue, and packing the courts with left-leaning judges still isn't going to change the fact too many Americans are just too stupid to enable a functional democracy. I wonder if that's the ultimate fate of every empire. Still, go out and fucking vote. Deal with the Nazis in the government first. Sincerely, literally the rest of the world, a vote for Biden is a vote to be on the right side of history. Part of the problem is propaganda networks like Fox being allowed to call itself news rather than Fox BS. Trump is a figurehead. McConnell is the single largest threat to our republic. Donnie Moscow works for Putin. He will always put himself, his family, and Russia, above the interests of Americans. Ain't wrong. I'm typically hesitant to trust anyone who starts a thought with, "Trust me." But I mean, he's not wrong. Donald Trump is an enemy of the United States. One only has to look at all the harm he has done to the country since he was elected 4 years ago. Voting for Joe Biden is a must in November 2020. So true. Voted today. I did the right thing for our country. Will you? I'm much more moderate than this guy. Bernie wasn't even on my list. Warren would have been maybe number 3. Buttigieg and Yang would have been my number 1 and number 2 choices. But fuck Trump. I'm not stoked about Biden, but he's not bad, and not bad is a million times better than Trump. I'm sick of the graft. Sick of the bullshit. Sick of the nepotism. But most of all, I'm sick of having my country represented by a reprehensible person. He is a venal moron with a superiority complex. He is braggart and a fool. He is an idiot and proud of it. I would literally vote for Satan over this fuck, because at least Satan would have his shit together. Trust me, I leaked the Pentagon Papers. Trump is the Republican Party is an enemy of the Constitution and must be defeated. FIFY. Can you imagine the lengths Putin will go to in order to debrief Trump? What fascinates me is that Trump is obviously batshit insane and in a hole, yet people respond with outrage as if he was supposed to act any other way. It's like making a baby a university professor and then saying he has severely neglected his responsibilities. Dude. That's a baby, what did you expect? Trump is a symptom of a problem that runs far deeper in the American psyche. Doesn't matter which puppet you lot will have in the White House come January 2021, you got some seriously fucked up values and systems that are gonna change the face of the planet in a few decades, none of them good, correct? I'm calling it now. If he is defeated in this election, he will make as much as a mess for Biden as possible, and he won't be transferring power or attending Biden's inauguration because he will resign, or fake an illness, flee, or all of the above. And so is the GOP. American schools need to teach civics again. It should be part of a basic education. As a French, living in France, I urge all Americans to vote for Biden. Too much power, too long, in the wrong hands, the US of A, and most likely the world, will never recover the chaos that Trump spreads. There is a documentary called The Most Dangerous Man in America about the Pentagon Papers if anyone is interested. Very good, worth the watch for sure. If people haven't decided he's an asshole by now, they aren't gonna. The regressive right hates whistleblowers. Sad. I just don't get why Republicans protect him. Are they paid IFF or something? They know he's breaking every rule out there but pretend he's good. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. And nothing will happen because America's system is designed to allow the rich to do what they want, or when Nixon's plumbers broke into his psychiatrist office to dig up dirt after he leaked the papers. https://www. Smithsonianmag. com/history/ the world's most famous filing cabinet 365688830/ But the election is rigged. Before the election happens, unless, they're behind it, Jesus Christ himself could appear and say that Donald Trump is trash, and not one single person that supports him right now would care at all. Daniel Ellsberg is an American hero. He was critical in getting the US out of Vietnam, and he did so knowing it will land him prison for life. It didn't only thanks to Nixon's corruption and a judge who could not be corrupted. He did the right thing for his fellow countrymen in the face of personal danger. I have so much respect for this man. A grotesque parody of everything the nation once stood against, America will finally have its king. Similarly, I just listened to the Armchair Expert podcast episode where they talked to Bob Woodward and it was bizarre and insightful and a great listen. He talks about how Trump would call his house nightly to chat. How he warned Trump before the book came out that he's not going to like it, how Trump responded. Very interesting hour listen, highly recommend.